Hey everybody, and welcome back to the wild. It's Cypris. Today is our second installment of alternative straws. Do they suck? On this episode, we are going to take a look at paper straws. Can they really hold up to liquids? I mean, they're paper, right? So are these gonna just disintegrate? There is a little umbrella here. Does that mean they hold up to the water? To the moisture? What I found for us to try today is a set of 300 straws for, how much were these? $12, $13, something like that. I'll put it right here. It worked out to about 4 cents a straw, and I did a little bit of price comparisons, and straws on Amazon actually run anywhere from 4 was the lowest all the way up to 8 cents a straw for paper straws. So I felt like this was a really good deal. Boy, if they don't work, I've sure got a lot of extra straws. Apparently these also are useful for cake pops. Not that I have any clue how to make a cake pop. This that we're gonna look at today is by JTIEO. I do not have any idea how to pronounce that. I think we're all ready to recreate the experiment. I've got everything set up almost identically to the way it was before. I've got the same brand of lipstick on, so it should be the same tendency to want to rub off. Let's see what happens. Welcome back to the laboratory. Here's our straws. The packaging on this is all supposed to be recyclable. The straws themselves, though, are packaged in plastic. It is hard in some locations to find places that actually recycles this kind of plastic wrap, so be advised. This makes my OCD so happy I can hardly stand myself. Every color pattern is neatly wrapped together. This is so orderly, it actually makes me happy just to look at it. Alright, pink with white polka dots. This is probably going to garishly clash with my orange lipstick, but this is what we do for science. We have everything set up like we did before. I've got water in a thermos type water bottle container. I've got pulpy orange juice. How did that get in there? This time I put it at the beginning of the lineup so I don't get sucker punched with bitterness after so many sweets. We've got chocolate milk. We've got Verner's ginger ale. Because anything less would be uncivilized. And now I'm mixing my brands. And a strawberry milkshake and a fruit smoothie. And the milkshake and the smoothie were made right here by my entry-level blender. I think I got these a little smoother this time, and that's only fair because there are no thicker straws in this set. We just have skinny little straws. What was the diameter on these? Maybe I'll put it on the screen right here. Fortunately, I remembered scissors. Now the straws themselves are supposed to be fully biodegradable. Any information on here on what they might be treated with. I want to dump these in all at the same time because I want to time and check them incrementally to see how long these straws hold up in various kinds of beverages. Now, our water bottle is not going to work because we don't have any long straws. These are only about 8-inch. So this isn't going to work. So we're going to have to let that go. But in the spirit of having all of the correct beverages, I do have some water here. Oh, they feel a little bit like almost cardboardy, and I can feel that they're put together on this diagonal curve. like a toilet paper roll, a paper towel roll, a wrapping paper roll, just on a much smaller scale. They do feel almost like they have some kind of glossiness to them, but we need 6 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They're fun to hold. I'm so way too easily entertained, oh my word. So, alright, it is 7:49. Yep. These two are thick enough, they're standing up. The question is, do they suck? Ginger ale's talking to me. Let's start with the water. Okay. Oh, there is definitely very papery, cardboardy sensation. It absorbs very quickly moisture from my mouth, and I can feel that. That's quite noticeable. It's not horrible. Other than that, it works totally fine. It would be easy enough to get used to, although somebody with sensory sensitivities might be turned off by this, I think. Those of you who were with me on the last experiment will remember it was not that big of a deal to adjust to the stainless steel. In fact, the stainless steel was almost less noticeable than the plastic. These are definitely more noticeable than the plastic. You're very aware that you're sucking through paper, cardboardy type material. All right, moving on to orange juice with pulp. Oh dear. You know what it reminds me of, drinking out of these straws? Way back in grade school, like kindergarten, when they deliver the milk, they don't still do that, right? But they deliver the milk in these little cartons, and everybody would get their own little box of milk, and we never got the chocolate ones. It was so sad. But you would fight to open this little cardboard container of milk, and you drink out of the cardboard. It tastes like drinking out of those cartons, only those little cardboard cartons had more wax on them. So this is like the inside where you ripped it apart, like what that tastes like. If any of you remember that, that's the sensation. The part that wasn't waxy. Stop talking and do the experiment, woman. Okay, chocolate milk. Oh, every time. It's gonna take me a while to get used to these paper straws. With the chocolate milk flavor, in my brain, it feels more correct because I have that memory of drinking out of those little cardboard cartons. Actually, it's easier to drink milk out of these straws. That's funny. It's funny how a brain can be wired. No lipstick? Come on. I must be drinking super carefully. All right, this next one, I'm gonna go for lipstick fallout and see what happens. We're moving on to ginger ale. It's funny, every beverage, I just keep being very aware of this cardboard. In this case, with the pop, I'm tasting more of whatever's part of the straw. I don't want to say a chemical taste. I don't know if it's just psychosomatic, but I feel like the pop is somehow breaking down the straw faster, and I'm tasting that. I'm going to be interested to see which of these straws disintegrates first, or if they do. I've got a little bit of lipstick going on here, not bad. Okay, yeah, so here's the deal. If you're really careful drinking out of a straw like I am, very little of the lipstick touches the straw. Apparently I've trained myself to do this, but if you clamp down with your lips, it totally takes the lipstick without a second thought. It's like, oh, do you want to blot today? Okay. These definitely take more lipstick than the stainless steel. I couldn't get the stainless steel to do this. But that's to be expected. I mean, they're paper. Whether or not you want to use these depends on whether or not lipstick transfer is an issue. Oh, look at that. I just tried to wipe it off. I just wiped this straw off to get the lipstick off it, and boop. Clearly they do eventually disintegrate, especially if you rub on them exactly where the seam is. So, strawberry milkshake. it works. I'm starting to get used to the paper. It's just like whatever. So that's good. I was a little worried. It took me a while. I have to suck harder with this one than I did the stainless steel. And the diameter really looks, well here, let's check. This stainless steel straw is a 6mm diameter. Oh my goodness, it's smaller. It is definitely a little bit smaller. So the fact that it's harder to get the milkshake up through this straw means it's actually harder to get the milkshake up through this straw. Whoa! I wonder how that works, because with a bigger opening, it should be easier. It must be the friction. So there is more friction on the inside of the paper straw than on the stainless steel. Paper means more difficult, more friction trying to get that up through there. Whoa! Now it's really feeling like science. What? And lastly, we've got the smoothie, and I'm guessing this is really going to be problematic because it was really problematic for the stainless steel. In like chunks, I'm getting it. I'm getting more of it. It's gonna clog. Wow, I'm not getting any clogs. And I did make sure more of the pulp on the grapefruit and the orange were not in the mix. So apparently I did a better job of making the smoothie this time. It's still not a pleasant experience. Like, I would definitely want a bigger straw with this. It's coming up just in bits, like spitting. In a pinch, one could do it, but I don't recommend it. So there you go. I think that paper straws are a really interesting option because they're disposable. I love drinking out of the stainless steel straws. These are really comfortable. But if you're out at a restaurant and you're done with your meal and it's time to leave, what do you do with the dirty straw? You can dab it a lot with your napkin, but like you can't get, so you run the risk of getting backwash leaking out on the way home. So if you're on the go, something that you can just throw away and totally not worry about it is really handy. So single use and be done with it. Now it has been just about 20 minutes, so let's see how these straws are holding up as far as disintegrating into the fluid. So we've got, after 20 minutes, there is definitely a little bit of a, you know, the feeling of paper that's wet? It's kind of got that. It's almost sticky. You can kind of feel that the paper's starting to break down. I can put some pressure and some friction on it and it's not budging. So far, so good. What about the orange juice? After 20 minutes, same. I would have thought the acids in the orange juice would be having an effect, and they're not. Okay, that surprises me. Now with the milk, I almost think the milk, it's a little stickier. Almost like the milk is breaking it down faster. Okay, pop. Ginger ale. Not attacking it any more than the other fluids yet. Oh, this is going to be difficult. Pardon me. Just didn't want to touch all the milkshake. Okay, yeah, this one also feels like it's a little bit worn down, just like the chocolate milk did. And then on the smoothie, more than the water and the pop and the orange juice, but less than the products with more dairy in them. It seems like milk is in the lead for being the most caustic, which is, I feel like, the exact opposite of what milk is, because it's basic, right? Instead of being acidic. All right. It's looking like these would definitely last through a dinner out. Let's give it a little bit of time and check back. All right, welcome back. Woohoo, we are in the future. It's been about 50 minutes now since I put the straws in the glasses. Let's see how they're holding up. Okay, there's no visual signs of disintegration, but they are starting to feel kind of squishy. Still holding its shape pretty well, so it is getting soft. The orange juice with high pulp, it's not absorbing it as fast as the water, but it is starting to get a little soft. Chocolate milk, it's about the same. And the ginger ale, same difference. Now, the milkshake, I'm noticing that with these thicker drinks, the drink itself doesn't recede back down the straw so fast, so they're getting soaked more up here because the liquid stays up here. Still holding its own, though. And then the smoothie, I think the smoothie is almost the softest of all, but I don't know, they're all pretty close. I think that an hour is a reasonable amount of time to assume for a dinner out. So I'm gonna say that these hold up definitely well enough for a meal. If you're planning on a really long night though, you might want to take spares. I did a little bit of checking while I was waiting for the timer, and there seems to be a discussion online about paper food using materials coming from places like China because they don't have to print all of the ingredients they use, say in the inks that they print the colors with. And they claim to be the equivalent of FDA approved for things that you're going to be putting in your mouth. What I gathered from my very short time online looking at this is that if you really want to know every detail about how something's made and which kinds of dyes are used in the printing of the paper, you have to get something that's manufactured in a country that does that, like here in the United States. As for this test though, I'm not seeing any dyes bleeding off into there's no pigment seeping into the water or the milk that I can tell. Thought though, with the fact that these get softer and softer the wetter they get and the more moisture they absorb, I'm gonna suggest that these straws around kids might not last as long because kids have a tendency of gnawing on things. If you have kids that chew on straws, these are gonna stop working sooner. I wouldn't avoid these for kids. I would just be aware that they're gonna possibly chew through them. Final thoughts. I think these work. I totally think they work, and I think they're a really good option for going out, or if you have a party and you want everything to be disposable because you want less cleanup. The only caveat that I would suggest is that you definitely are aware that you're putting your mouth on paperboard. I don't think that's a huge issue. I think it's totally doable, especially when you're measuring convenience. But I think for every day in the home, if I am using straws, I'm going to want stainless steel. I think these are definitely worth having around for times when you need something disposable. But they are not the most palatable straw available. Alright, cheers everybody. So these are the JTIEO paper 8" by 1/4" drinking straws. They claim to be recyclable, biodegradable. The packaging is recyclable, the straws are biodegradable. So what do you think of these paper straws? If you look online, there's definitely a lot of different options for paper straws. For these ones, I will include the link below, and if you haven't seen my trial of stainless steel straws, I'll also link that video below. In the final analysis, do these straws suck? Why, yes they do, but in the optimum way. And stay tuned because I'll be testing more varieties of earth-friendly straws, both the reusable kind and the disposable kind. You can look forward to more of me sucking. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you want to stay close to the wild. And to follow along in between videos, you can find me on Facebook and Instagram. And until the next video, keep it wild.